Hello. The goal of this presentation is to provide an overview of the resources available to campuses to complete the annual Community and Student Engagement Self-Evaluation. You may notice as you watch this video and work through the available resources that very few changes have been made compared to the resources provided last year. We hope that you will find this video helpful. As you know, the Community and Student Engagement is a result of House Bill 5 from the 83rd Texas Legislature. As written into the Texas Education Code, each campus is required to complete an annual evaluation of 8 program areas as well as compliance with state and federal requirements. The 8 program areas are identified on the screen, within the rubric, and within the evaluation template. Campuses are required to use the ratings of exemplary, recognized, acceptable, or unacceptable throughout the evaluation. This includes each program area as well as an overall rating. The results of the self-evaluations are to be annually posted to the district website no later than August 8th. However, we are required to submit the results of the campus and district evaluations to TEA in our June PEIMS submission. The evaluation process outlined has been adapted from Texas PTA's Community and Student Engagement, a guide to implementing House Bill 5. You can see that there are 5 unique steps to this process, including committee organization, data collection, evaluation, goal setting, and reporting. Within each of these steps, there are unique activities that need to be conducted in order to complete the evaluation. Throughout the Community and Student Engagement Self-Evaluation resources provided by GISD, there are 3 terms that we will use consistently. It's important that we have an understanding of how those terms are being used. First, categories are the 8 program areas and compliance that are outlined in the Texas Education Code. Each category is required to be evaluated independent of the others. Next, criteria are the characteristics or traits that will be individually considered and evaluated within a category. The district has identified many criteria that can be utilized by campuses to complete their self-evaluation. It is understood that not all criteria are available at every campus, so the Self-Evaluation Committee plays an important role in selecting appropriate criteria for evaluation. Campuses will be required to evaluate a minimum of 5 criteria within each program category. All criteria is required to be evaluated in the compliance section. However, this may be a combination of criteria from the district-provided rubric or campus-created criteria. Finally, performance level is the degree to which the criteria standards have been met. Texas Education Code requires 4 performance levels: exemplary, recognized, acceptable, and unacceptable. So you'll see those performance levels as the rubric headers. The visual on the screen should be helpful for explaining the relationship between these 3 terms. In addition to this training video, 2 other evaluation resources are provided: the rubric and the template. The rubric provides a comprehensive overview of the requirements, process, template directions, as well as descriptors of performance levels for each of the evaluated criteria. The template will be used for documenting and reporting the results of your community and student engagement evaluation. Once complete, the template is the file that you will send in its entirety to Kim Cadell by the reporting deadline. Now let's take a look at the organizational structure for the district-provided rubric. First, the rubric includes 8 icons representing the 8 program categories required in the evaluation. You can see the icons on the sides of the slide. The sample rubric page that we see on the screen is for the Fine Arts category. Next, notice that the first column in the table identifies the district-identified criteria associated with the specific category. Subsequent columns establish the expectations or descriptions of what should be evident at each level of performance. Notice the performance level color coding. This is consistent on the rubric and the template. Let's take a look at the specific example. The criteria is exhibition or performance opportunities. At an elementary campus, the exemplary performance level indicates that students are provided a minimum of 15 opportunities to showcase their fine art works for their community. The unacceptable performance level indicates that less than 5 opportunities for students to showcase their fine arts works are provided. Now let's take a peek at the template. The document is designed to not only be visually appealing, but also provide quick access to the various evaluation categories. The first thing you'll notice are the gray cells at the top. These areas must be filled in by the person completing the document. While the self-evaluation process should be completed by a committee, the actual data entry should be reported by a campus administrator. The gray cells are the only cells that you will be able to access and update on this overview page. Once data is entered into these cells, the highlighting will be removed. Next, each of the 8 program categories are listed. The ratings for each one of these categories are automatically populated based on information from other locations in the file. In addition to the program categories, the compliance category rating is provided, as well as the overall self-evaluation rating, which is based on the results of each of the individual category ratings. All of the cells highlighted with yellow will automatically update as the evaluation of each of the categories is completed. Finally, I'd like to draw your attention to the bottom of the file, where you will be able to access each of the specific categories for evaluation. Now we're going to walk through the steps to completing the category sheets within the template. To begin, click in the first cell under the criteria. You can activate the available criteria by clicking the down arrow. The criteria list is sorted alphabetically. Determine which of the criteria you want to select and click on it. Once selected, the cell will populate with the criteria text. Click in the next cell to the right under the performance area. This will trigger a drop-down menu. There are 4 options available under performance level: exemplary, recognized, acceptable, and unacceptable. You will need to use the rubric to determine the performance level to select. Once a performance level is selected, the cells will change colors. Notice that the colors match the headings used in the rubric table. The next step is to enter information under evidence of success. This is a description of the programs, services, and activities on your campus. Readers of your evaluation won't have access to your data, so this is the only supporting evidence that they'll have access to. This is your opportunity to highlight specific things related to the selected criteria. There is an opportunity to provide additional information. This is where you can provide links to internet content and/or information you'd like to share with the readers. While this is optional, I would encourage additional relevant content to be shared if available. Finally, notice the second section of the page. If your campus would like to evaluate a criteria that has not been provided in the district rubric, you may do so by entering the information in this section. You'll need to type the criteria, select the performance level, and enter the evidence of success. The final tab available in the template is the Compliance tab. Campuses will need to review each of the criteria and indicate whether or not the campus is in compliance, yes, out of compliance, no, or if the criteria does not apply to the campus. For example, the first 2 criteria are related to the district improvement plan. This is something that campuses are not required to have, so every campus should indicate NA on the first 2 criteria. To make the indication, click in the appropriate cell next to the criteria and under the performance level. The only option available under each of the 3 columns is an X. Simply record an X under the appropriate performance level. Before we conclude, there are a few things indicated in the instructions for completing the evaluation template on pages 5 to 6 in the rubric document that I want to be sure to highlight. First, each category must be evaluated with a minimum of 5 criteria. This can be any combination of district or campus criteria, but the category rating will not populate until at least 5 criteria are evaluated. Also, for each of the evaluated criteria, you must include evidence of success. What data or information did the committee review to determine the performance level? Readers of this report will not have access to review the data, so you'll want to provide as much information as possible to form a basis for your rating. Remember, This is your opportunity to highlight the wonderful things that are happening on your campus. Please know that any category that earns an unacceptable rating must be addressed in next year's Campus Improvement Plan. In addition, there are a few safeguards that are included in the calculations of the overall performance rating, such as campuses that are not in compliance with all requirements will not earn an overall rating higher than acceptable, and campuses with a category rating of unacceptable will not earn an overall rating higher than acceptable. Before finalizing your self-evaluation, please verify that the Overview tab in the template is free from yellow highlights, as the yellow highlighting indicates areas that need attention. In addition, verify that you have entered the required information into the gray highlighted cells on the Overview tab. Please be sure to make note that completed evaluations are to be sent via email to Kim Cadell by the due date displayed on the screen or in the WAPE memo. As always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Thank you.